Greetings and salutations, I'm your quirky artist Mika. So, my ETIHAD journey continues, and today we are going to talk about the interview process, how I did it, how I eventually made it till the end and I was selected to become the cabin crew. Yeah, and obviously this is now back in time, the makeup is finished. And so Jeffrey Star Cosmetics, obviously, so he launched this pricked collection. This time it's a handbag. So he launched this pricked collection in September and I completely missed it, like completely missed the collection. So I figured like now it's way too late to do a video for this, for the collection, because I have this and then I have these two. So it's way too late to do review of these. So I figured I'm just gonna again do my makeup anyway. But so we're gonna talk about like what to expect. So if you choose to, you wanna apply for ETIHAD, I reckon this works for Emirates as well. So if you wanna join them, so this is what their interview process is like. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so let's jump right to it. So honestly, how fun is this? Even though I complain about his packaging, the bloodlust, the purple one, which is BS still, but yeah, this is fun. But yeah, so a little clasp, and then there we go. It's cute. I mean, I like the color scheme, so it's very pretty. And pricked, so Scorpio, so there is your girl, there is me. But it's a very nice color story, so I do enjoy that, and I kind of made up my mind already like what I want to do. So I'm gonna, oops, so what's that? Pale in comparison. So let's do the white one, pale in comparison. So 2013, so I get the, like, inspired by my mom, I suppose. And then, yeah, I find out about ETIHAD and I find out that they have an interview. They're doing interviews in Europe at that time. And so first you need to submit your application, your CV through their website, or additionally, you can go to one of their CV drop-offs. A lot of people have done that, but obviously ETIHAD wasn't coming to Helsinki anytime soon. So I submit through their website, and then I waited to be accepted, and that's the Huda Beauty, what's that, nude, Huda Beauty nude. And as you can see, it's like I like the Huda formula, but this is just BS because these keep breaking. So I'll take the pink one right here. So then they sent me an email that, okay, so we received your CV and you can choose where you want to do your interview. So they listed, I reckon they listed the cities or what's happening in the upcoming months, and there was one in Amsterdam. So it was May 2013 when I went to Amsterdam. And so basically what I did, because they send you like a package, like what you have to do. So like a business, you need to come in a business suit, like you need to take pictures, like professional pictures, you need to have passport photos, I think, obviously your CV, and all sorts of like certificates you need to bring them. So it's a small package you have to give them. And so you need to also, they will do a reach test, they will take a look at your hands, and that's because they want to see you have 5 fingers, so you have 10 fingers, because some people apparently they're missing fingers or something. So you need to have 10 fingers to be able to join them. So they send you the package, send me the package, and then I got very well prepared. And I'm telling you, I did my research. I looked and I researched everything I could find about ETIHAD and about the interview process, what to expect. I read blog posts. I'm not sure if she's still there. There was a wonderful blog called The Cabin Crew Dreamer. If I can find her, I will put it in the description box. So I was in contact with her or with them and asked about the interviews and stuff like that. She was quite intricate in her description, like what to expect. but I did all sorts of research, interview questions, like if you would have a difficult manager or boss, how would you deal with them? Like they want to do this and then you want to do it like this. So difficult colleagues or customers, when was the last time you did something remarkable for your like client or for your business or for your team that kind of changed the culture? All sorts of things that they can ask you. So I prepared, I had like a notebook where I wrote all the questions and all my answers. So, and this was kind of a little bit like, well, I don't want to say make it or break it, but I was broke. Like I was broke. Whatever little money I had left, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it towards this journey, this interview journey, and hopefully I'll get accepted and yeah, start making some money once again, because being a freelancer makeup artist, yeah, it's very fickle. The income wise, very fickle. Anyway, so I flew to Amsterdam the night before, and I decided to stay near the hotel because for the life of me, I can't remember what hotel it was. And it wasn't in the city, so it was outside the city. But anyway, so I found like a bed and breakfast situation nearby, 10-minute walk, and because the day starts very early. So yeah, I got myself ready, woke up very early, did my makeup, my hair, my everything to look, you know, like a professional businesswoman. And so I walked there, and I wasn't the only one. There were a few other people walking, because you could tell because everybody's in a black business suit. So we got in, and I saw there were a lot of people there. And then they had like this big conference room or like an auditorium. So we sit down, and then they start introducing themselves, like, yeah, this is Etihad Airways and what Etihad is about. Kind of a little bit like what to expect and what else. But I remember, so that was it. But they said, one of the girls says, like, you know, everybody, like, we have jokes for all of you. And then like the place like erupted, everybody was like, yay! And I was kind of like, okay, like little less nervous. I was like, okay, that's good to hear. And then obviously they're like, well, but we still need to go through the selection process and see who is the right fit for us and whatnot. So then we would listen to all the presentations and whatnot. And I think that the day started at like 8 o'clock or 8:30. Like, it's a very long day. It starts very early and it's a very long day. So did that, and then because we were all sitting next to each other, so then it was an English exam, and that is super easy. I have to say, like, I did see people struggling, because like I finished the damn thing in like less than 10 minutes. It is that easy, and it's my personal opinion. It's way too easy. And then we would like do a little introduction. So we would have to introduce, in Amsterdam, we had to introduce ourselves. So it's like, hey, I'm Heini, I'm from Finland, and I was a makeup artist in London. I was working for Chanel. And then people were like, oh, there were quite a few like, oh. So I was like, oh, thank you. Anyway, and then I think after that, so we would have a little break, like 10-minute break, because they would go over the English exams, or we did the reach test. They looked at the hands and stuff like that. And then they would eliminate some people. I will go into more details once I get to Barcelona, but so. And then after that, it was a group task. So those of you who made it to the next round, it's a group task. And so they would put us in little groups. And then this task this year, it was that we would have to pick an Etihad destination, and then design a holiday for one of the passengers. So eventually, so we are all like talking and chit-chatting, you know, what do we want to do? And it's like you have like 10-15 minutes to come up with a whole plan. So one girl, she was like, okay, let's choose Amsterdam because it's their newest destination. And so we planned the whole thing, and the lady who is sitting there and assessing us, because one of the staff members or the crew who get to choose, like who make the selections, somebody is sitting there with you, so they are observing you and making notes and stuff like that. So then we need to give the presentation to them. So the lady, she's like, okay, so time's up, okay, get ready, so okay, let's discuss now. So what destination did you choose? And like nobody's speaking, so I'm like, well, we chose Amsterdam. And then she's like, oh, why? I'm like, well, because it's ETIHAD's newest destination. I swear, guys, the look she gave me, kiss of death. I'm telling you, my heart sank. Just that. I don't know why, but she took great offense when I said that, and then obviously we would go on into details. And I think I spoke once more after that. But yeah, and then the thing is, guys, I'll put this down. The thing is, if this was a movie, the second she gave me that kiss of death, I should have turned to the camera and be like, literally foreshadowing for my future relationships in ETIHAD Airways, because this person, I'm not gonna say where she was from, but so her heritage or her race, once I joined ETIHAD Airways, like the people I had problems with or issues with was her people. And it is so ironic now, like I can kind of like laugh about it now because it's just so like obscure almost. Like, so her people, so especially managers, because we had a lot of people from this continent that were managers, like pursers. So ETIHAD would call them cabin managers, but they're pursers actually. So most of them were pursers, and they would give me a lot of heartache, a lot of grief, just because they could. The guys, they were always fine with me, like very nice, hardworking people, no issues. But the women, oh my god. Anyway, so that's a little rant. But so, as you can imagine, because I mentioned that the only reason why we chose Amsterdam was because it was ETIHAD's new destination, I didn't make it to the next round. So they would, I think it was about 10 of us, so they would tell the other people like, okay, they would read our names, so and then stay here like in a small alcove, and then they would tell everybody else to go back into the auditorium. And yes, so then one of them, she told us that, sorry guys, you didn't make it. It's like, thank you so much, and you can reapply in 6 months. And yeah, just to be honest, like I cried. Like when I walked back to the hotel, I cried. And yeah, I got myself some Chinese food and then went home the next day. No matter. So then I was working as a makeup artist, and then I got a job at department store that autumn. And then in January, I was able to reapply for the apply again. So did that, and then this time they had the next available interview was in Barcelona, and I think I went there in February. So it was again very quick. So CV send, and because they have a file, so they can see that you have applied before and you did the interview before, so did that. And then this time the same thing, research again, go over my answers, my interview questions and answers in case I make it to the end this time. Proper research, get really ready, take the pictures again, 6 months. And then I flew to Barcelona, and I got there the day before, and I basically almost like had a whole day in Barcelona. I've never been interested in Spain, like Spain never interested me, even history, Spanish history, I was like, I couldn't care less. But Barcelona like was a very nice surprise. I didn't expect that at all, that I would like Barcelona so much. I did one of those bus tours, so like a couple of hours just touring around Barcelona, and it was beautiful. And it was February, so I could sit out. I had lunch outside, and I had to remove my jacket because it was so sunny and lovely. But yeah, so did that. Oh, I think the next one I'm gonna take this. What's that? Pulp addiction. And the next day, the same thing. I didn't stay too far from the hotel, but yeah, so again, 8 o'clock, very early. So for the, did I mention? So the Amsterdam, there was about 160 people came for the Amsterdam interview. And now this one, the Barcelona interview, I would say there was about 80 of us. So much less. So I was like, okay, so there are less people here, so that's good. And that's a good thing, because then you can kind of stand out, because like the people who do your interview, who manage that interview, there are actual cabin crew. So my flatmate from New Zealand was a recruiter for a couple of years. So she went to Casablanca quite a lot to do those interviews. So these are actual cabin crew. So they basically recommend you to the company. And then obviously the company, they make the final decision, but they get to recommend you. So if you get to go to one of these interviews where there are significantly less people, like less than 100, it's much easier for you to stand out, basically. So again, forgot the hotel, what hotel it was, but it was big, it was lovely. So again, same thing, but this time we were seated in pairs, and same thing, introduction, English exam, the hands, the reach test, CV, give them the CVs, the pictures, everything. And then this time the task was that we need to introduce the person next to us. And they said, you know, just quick introduction and say something interesting about yourself. So the person next to me, her name was Renata, and she was from Poland. So she told me her story, and then I told her like my story to her, and I said, you know, I like Japanese video games. Like, I was a makeup artist in London, and I can speak Japanese, and I like Japanese video games. And so again, so they send you the package here. You need to come in a business suit. You have to come in a business suit, because after this was elimination. So those people who didn't come, like who did not dress for the occasion, they were eliminated. So follow the rules. Same thing for this thing, because they said that, so a quick one, just quickly tell us something about yourself. So very straight to the point, you know, come up with something interesting story, not story, but a few interesting things about yourself, but go straight to the point. Yeah, same thing for your partner, like the person next to you, because there were people who would tell like a story, like a short story, and then they're kind of like, So even those people didn't make it. So follow the rules, yeah? That's fine, made it to the next round. So this time again, it was the group thing. And I remember reading online that it's good, like you need to speak, but like don't speak too much, because let everybody speak. So somebody wrote online that, you know, you also need to keep time. So they said that, okay, so one could come up with the layover or the destination. Somebody could say like keep the time, stuff like that. So I didn't tell the rest of the group, but so we start talking about this time we had to come up with a holiday for a family. So okay, talking, so many destinations, let's do this. So after 5 minutes, I'm like, sorry ladies, so we have 10 minutes to come up with the plan. So can we please decide on a destination? So then we chose some Spanish destination in Spain or something. And again, this time, so the lady is like, so what is the destination you chose? Again, nobody's speaking, so I'm like, okay, so we chose this, and I couldn't pronounce the name. For the life of me, I was so nervous, I couldn't pronounce the name. So the girl who was from Spain next to me, I was like, oh, we chose, you know what, can you please pronounce the name again? Because for me, I couldn't pronounce it like well enough. And then she pronounced it, and then I said it again. But I was like, I messed up. Anyway, but so the whole thing went well. And then after that, so some of us, we were pulled aside once again. A few people went back into the auditorium, and this time there was a guy, and he said, okay, you guys, like, you need to keep quiet, but you made it. And I almost like grabbed onto him. I was like, what? So he was like, you made it to the final interview, so now you have 10 minutes, use the toilet, whatever. And then we will see you downstairs and do your one-on-one interviews. And again, guys, this is a very long day, and there are, like, as I recall, there are no lunch breaks. You can have a toilet break, but there is no lunch break. So literally you go from 8 a.m. and if you make it to the final stage, you are there from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., something like that. So I would have like nuts, or I would have like a chocolate. So when I went to the toilet, I would have a piece of chocolate or a few nuts. You can have a water bottle, obviously, but yeah, there is no lunch break. So made it to the final interview. And so there were a few of us there, and they wouldn't, I think, they didn't really say like, okay, you're gonna come in this order. They said that, you know, if some of you have flights to catch, you know, we can start with you guys. And I was surprised because a lot of the girls, it was only girls at that time, so had booked flights home that same night, while actually the package that they send you, they say that ideally reserve the whole day for the interview, because like obviously if you have to rush to catch your flight and stuff like that, so it's like it's a bad look. So I scheduled my flight for the next day once again in the next morning. So many girls were like, okay, like my flight is leaving in like few hours and what else. So I said that okay, I can go last because I don't like, yeah, my flight is tomorrow, so you girls go first. So I was one of the, like, I think I might have been the last one actually who did the interview. So anyway, so we are chatting and what else, and obviously very, very nervous. And I have my notebook with me, so I'm still like, I'm a high achiever, okay? Perfectionist and high achiever. So I was going over the answers and questions and what else. So then I go in, so he is there, the guy, and another girl is there. And it's very not simple, obviously, it's a very nerve-wracking situation, very stressful situation. So, but I remember, so they asked me what's like a great thing I did for a client or customer, like how I resolved an issue with a customer, because I was also, before being a makeup artist, I worked in a restaurant and I was promoted to lunch manager. So came up with one of those answers. It's a restaurant, obviously there will be issues with customers. So okay, one of those examples. Then when did you have an issue with your colleague, and what kind of issues? So I brought up with a thing that happened with my Japanese colleague in London, and whatnot. So these sort of like very like quite usual generic interview questions that they ask you, but like I have to like make it interesting, okay? Because they are these guys, they are seeing so many people throughout the day, so we start blending, we blend together at the end of the day. So it's very important if you can highlight something that's unique to yourself. So like I said, I will bring up the Japanese stuff because obviously for them it's like, oh, it's a white girl from Finland who can speak some Japanese and is like loves Japanese video games and did a whole Lions Club exchange there, lived there briefly and stuff like that. So that's interesting. That's something that people will remember. So that's why, like, use that, honestly, use that. So they will remember you. So did that, and then the interview was over in like maybe 15 minutes or something like that. So I'm leaving, and one of the other girls, the interview ladies, so she comes down the stairs and she's like, oh, Heini, you're leaving. I'm like, yeah, I finished my interview. And then last like a light bulb, I'm like, okay. So either this is gonna come off that like it comes from the heart, you know, or she's gonna think that I'm sucking up to her, but I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. And I told her, you know, like, you know, this is now my second interview I have done with ETIHAD, and like, thank you so much. Like, this time I made it till the end, and it has been such a wonderful day for me, and I'll definitely remember this forever. This was a very unique interview experience for me. And she was kind of like, oh. It was like, oh yeah, thank you so much. Like, it's good, you're still very fresh. It's a long day. I'm like, yeah, but I'm it was an exciting day. So thank you and have a good night. So I was like, okay, so it's either gonna go or whatever. So she's gonna be like, oh, sucking up, or she's gonna be like, oh, she's so nice. Anyway, so then, oh, I should do that. Okay, twist it. okay, I'm gonna do twisted taste and it's gonna go underneath. And then I go home. Yeah, I go home the next day. And then just need to wait. And then obviously some of us, we exchanged phone numbers, so we are texting after a week or so. So everybody starts texting each other and being like, you know, like, oh, have you heard back, you know, anything? It's like, no, nothing. And I would say it took about a week or maybe 10 days, because I was kind of like feeling like they don't say like how quickly they will get back to you. And I have heard some people had to wait for months to get a reply. So after like, I would say 10 days, I was kind of like, well, maybe I didn't make it, or like just kind of starting to feel a bit like discouraged. It's like, okay, yeah, didn't make it. And then there is the interview, not the interview, the email. I'm a bit like, whew. And then, yeah, it says like, congratulations, you have been selected to become Etihad Airways cabin crew. And so we will get back to you once we have idea when you're gonna start your training and stuff like that. So I was like, I was over the moon. Honestly, you guys, I was over the moon. I was so happy. And then the same thing, so it might take a while for them to get back to you and say you have been selected or haven't, and when they will find a slot for you for the like to start the training. So that might take time. I have heard some people had to wait for months for that as well. So I think it was, yeah, about 10 days to get the good to go. And then I think it was maybe another week, and they said that, you know, can you start on April 14th the same year? And then I was like, oh, of course I can. Oh, moving to Abu Dhabi. And like, this was, yeah, I had about a month and a half to sort out everything. And it was very lucky because, yeah, I broke up with the boyfriend and then was living with my parents, and our apartment building was gonna go, they were gonna do a massive renovation, like piping, the pipes and the all those things, like the water and everything is gonna be shut down for 6 months, and they're gonna, I guess, exchange everything and repair everything. So my parents would be commuting to Helsinki from our countryside home, but because I can't drive, so I was like, well, I had no idea like what would happen to me. Obviously I could go to the countryside, but I have to quit my, I would have to quit my job at the department store, because there would be no way for me to commute, basically. So yeah, that was kind of like what's gonna happen if I don't get the Etihad thing? Like, what's gonna happen to me? But it was like a godsend. It was literally like so lucky. And I said, briefly mentioned in my Danganronpa video, I mentioned that, you know, I'm quite lucky, but I'm not nearly lucky as Nagito, and I cannot use my luck. But that was like one of those lucky moments. It's like, oh damn, oh come on, thank God. So yes, passed all the interviews, and then in a couple of weeks was accepted, and then they sent me the offer and said, you're gonna start, can you start on April 14th? And I said yes, of course. And then it was time to sort out my life in Helsinki and start packing. Okay, so basically I'm starting to lose the light. I can see the rain is coming. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line the eyes with this and then get back to you, okay? Okay, that's the eyeliner. And also, like, in the inner corner I put this one, Glimmer of Hope. And and then the mascara, I curl my lashes. How fun is this? Because Jeffrey, he says that it's actually, it's the real deal. And it's a mascara. It's a coral mascara. I've been trying to get the black one forever, but it's always sold out. It's like, damn you, Jeffrey, like, restock, please. Because this formula is really great. Like, I love it. But there we go. And it's a gorgeous color. Like, you can't really, kinda can see that, but it's a gorgeous color. And it's gonna go lovely with this look. But anyway, so yeah, that is it. Like, that's the Etihad interview story. So I have to say, a lot of people have to do it twice. So if you really want to join with whether it's Etihad or Emirates, so don't give up. If this really is something that you want to do, then go and do it. And if you don't make it the first time, wait the whatever wait time it is now, and then just do it again. Just be well prepared. Like I said, just do everything they say in the package that they give you. Follow those rules, and then make yourself sound unique. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything major, but something that, you know, something that they will remember you by. Like, you can't like see that well, the camera doesn't really pick it up that well, but like in real life, like my lashes are like coral. Like, it's quite stunning like how this actually looks in real life. And then the lip gloss is the Supreme gloss, and this was what, Orange County. Oh, that's love. This is like one of my new favorites now. But yeah, that's basically it. So how I joined Etihad Airways and the interview. So next up obviously is gonna be the training, like moving there and the training part. So I imagine that's another long video. But yeah, so thank you for making it until the very end. So yeah, appreciate it a lot. I do, and it's fun. These are fun for me as well, because like I can go back down like in memory lane and like really start thinking about these things, because like 2020, so laid off, and then I was just kind of like having fun, got married, and I'm having fun with Vincent. So now it's kind of like a time to start reflecting on that journey, because I was there for 6 months at the end of the day. 6 months, come. 6 years! I was there for 6 years, so now it's time to start reflecting on that and just remembering these things. So thank you for letting me do this, because I do enjoy doing these videos, yeah? So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, I appreciate that. And also follow me on Instagram. Everything is down in the description box, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye. Ciao.